Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday morning. It is 5:30 on a Monday morning. That means it is time to grab a random object from the randomogrifier and do a little daily sketch while we talk about it. I'm going to spritz these watercolors real quick so they're nice and juicy when we start up later. I have to say that out loud so my mom knows I've done it. Let's see, we are recording. The cameras are going. That is a good thing. Okay. This morning, our random object was a Disney king. He's moved. That's not where he was. He'll be alright. No, it's not. Let's put him back where he was. There we go. It has been stormy weather here. Lightning struck here still loud last night. we were worried my son had been hit by lightning, and it was loud. It was he'd been outside playing and skateboarding with his buddies, and the lightning struck, and we're like, okay, where's my son? Let's check up on this. That was loud. Big storms last night. And you know what that means? That means I slept well. That is exactly what that means. I did not budge last night. I was all about them blankets. But now, all I can think about is going back to them blankets, but I get to go to work today. We're in the composition phase here. This is where we make sure that everything that we want to put on the drawing fits on the drawing, where it's supposed to fit on the drawing, how it is on the toy, remembering that it is a toy and it's not 100% accurate to real life. Today's toy is a king in the fashion of Disney, how Disney styles their kings. And Disney styled their kings off of the tapestries from the 600s and 700s. So when you see, if you see a king like in, you don't see the king in Snow White. You see the king in, I haven't seen the live action, maybe you see a king in the live action, but you don't see a king in I don't remember a king in Snow White. The king in Cinderella was only there to tell the prince that he had to pick a wife. And the kings in Sleeping Beauty were arguing over which one of them was more magnanimous. And not the way that it sounds. They weren't saying, I am the more magnanimous. They were saying, no, 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 tut, tut. You are obviously the more magnanimous. I said you are. That kind of stuff. They were not made out to be brilliant minds. I don't know how much of that is historically accurate. Because, kings aren't, from what I understand, kings aren't notoriously magnanimous. I've moved on to the details. The composition went pretty quick, so I've moved on to the details. Anyway, it is a lovely, cool Monday morning for June. I don't have any what's the word when I don't believe at all for a second that it's going to stay cool, because it is June. It is cool right now, and that is the important part. Little historical stuff about the kings. I've said for years and years and years, ever since I had a platoon sergeant tell me one time in Iraq. You know, I was having some problems getting the. I was a very young NCO, and I was having some problems getting people to pay attention to me. And he pointed out that leaders lead. You're not a boss, you're a leader. If you're going to be a leader, people will follow you. If you're a boss, people do what you tell them to as long as they have to, but they won't follow you and they won't respect you. And I've listened to that for a very long time in my life. That has carried me a very long ways. Leaders lead. And they used to say that was a divine right, that was God given. God gave them the power to lead. And they used that to make it where it was heresy and blasphemy, not just treason, but heresy and blasphemy, to speak out against your king. But the only thing that I think they did get right about that was, I do believe that if you have the compunction to lead, you will lead. You will find yourself in a leadership position, whether you want to or not. I just don't think you can help it. So we're all kings and pawns. Is that how that phrase goes? There's a poem. We're all kings and pawns. All right, let's move on to the ink. Hope my microphones are on. I didn't even check to see if my microphones are on. I didn't turn the music on either. You poor souls are sitting there listening to me prattle on. No music. Nothing to fill the void. But you know, the stories in history are not too terribly kind to kings. You know, if you look at the Disney stories about where kings are involved, they're all kind of made out to be doofuses is not the right word. Triton's not a doofus, for instance. But they're all kind of made out to be. They're either antagonistic to the story, or they're vacant. They either don't participate at all, or if they do, they're there to propel the protagonist into action, like Triton. Let's see, the thumb should be on the outside. Like Triton convincing Ariel that she inadvertently convincing Ariel that she should run away in The Little Mermaid, or the king in Cinderella telling his son, "You will marry," and the son's like, "Well, fine, I'll just marry whoever I want, whoever fits this shoe." You know, the king's role in those movies is not, in those stories, is not all that all that good of a position, if you will. Can't talk parting. But see, I kind of wish they'd make movies about some of the kings that did the stuff I like Alexander the Great built libraries everywhere he went, encouraging the towns to build libraries. That's deserving of some attention. And Alfred the Great, putting in public education in the UK and Great Britain, or Ashoka in India. And forgive me if I'm not saying that right, because everything I learned through reading. But Ashoka in India, thanks, Mom's letting me know the mic is good. Ashoka in India, after a lifetime of warfare and seeing the hideousness of war, decided to convert to Buddhism, spread Buddhism throughout India, but more importantly, promoted conservation and trees and parks and hospitals, and spent the remainder of his days as king promoting peace and education and conservation of nature. You don't ever see those kinds of kings in movies, especially not Disney movies. Especially not Disney movies. I'm singing along with the generic music these days. I've listened to it so much now that I got this generic music so that I could have music without worrying about copyright violations. And now I find myself singing along with it. So, on a lighter note, this is the last page in this sketchbook. And so, I think I have another sketchbook just like it. And I think that I'm going to continue doing exactly what I'm doing in this fashion for that sketchbook. It's only 24 pages. It's 24 sheets of paper. So it's not quite a month. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just continue on with this style for the remainder of that book. We'll have to see though, because I don't know, I kind of like the ink and wash look. But I also like the colors. But I'm primarily using cobalt blue, navy blue, and black. So maybe we just stick with cobalt blue, navy blue, black, sepia, and maybe we don't use so many colors. See, that'd be a good place to stop right there. What time is it? Oh, good Lord, it's already 5:47. Let me dry this real quick, and then we'll ink it. Oh no, we still have to do the blue. We still have to do the colors. We are behind schedule. Nothing I like better than watching paint dry. I wake up every morning and say, man, I'm just so excited to see the paint dry. It's so entertaining. All right. Yeah, Mom says this was a fast sketchbook. It really was. It went by really quick. Do. But yeah, some of the kings are notorious for their infamous, if you will, for their activities. I think some of the stuff about kings that I've learned over the last few decades is pretty interesting. Like why Prince Philip, the Queen of England's husband, couldn't be the king, was because he was also a prince of like Norway or something, and so you couldn't be the since he was a prince of the other one, he couldn't be the king. He couldn't be the king in England. Never knew that. I thought that was pretty interesting. Can't have dual allegiance. They tried to make kings here, and it didn't fly here. Everybody had such a bad experience with King George. But you know, I only know the American version of King George. King George may have been a beloved king in England. I have no way of knowing, because all I know is the American stories. I have no way of knowing what kind of leader King George was. You know, unless I get a British textbook. British textbooks, we kind of touched on this the other day with like John Smith. The American textbooks go a long ways to tell about how great a man John Smith was, but you look everywhere else in the world, the history textbooks are like, meh, this guy existed. Hi, Ivy. Good morning. So yeah, I've got I have one more sketchbook like that, just like this one. So I think I'll stick to that, and then I think after that, I think I'll go to this one. It's a little bigger. It won't hold up to watercolor, so I won't be able to. It might take a light wash. We might actually do just ink and wash, not an ink and watercolor wash, just an ink and wash, where I let the water pull the ink off I let the water pull the ink off the drawing to make the shading. So that may be what I do going forward. Because I do like the ink and wash. I like the illustrative qualities of it. Illustrative. My wife likes when I use $3 words. That's one of them there $3 words right there, illustrative. Can't talk, Harding. We're just about done here. I like it. But see what I can do here is I can take the water and I can just pull ink out. I can just pull that ink out and use that ink as shading. Just have to be careful that it's only on the one side. because it will spread. Because it's a water soluble ink. If you don't use water soluble ink, your fountain pen will dry with ink in it, and you won't be able to use it anymore. So I like it. I think we're going to call that one done. How are we doing on time? 5:56. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish at 9 a.m. my time. We'll be coloring some Dr. Seuss. Yeah, Ivy's got a stream where she colors. I was watching her progress on her gnomes. She had some gnomes riding snails and mushrooms. I was watching her progress. What's your channel? Is it Dee Phoenix? What's the name of your channel? I'm always on the spot when I'm live online, and my mind just goes to a complete blank. Her little gnome illustration that she's been coloring is really nice. She's got some really nice coloring tips, shading advice. What is today? Today's the 16th of June. Ivy Sunny Flowers. Ivy Sunny Flowers. That's her YouTube page. So you can go in a couple hours, go check her out. 9 o'clock. Are you in Ohio? Are you Eastern time? That means it's 8 o'clock here. If it's 9, if you're Eastern time, that means it's 8 o'clock here. Get this camera down here. Stop this camera rotation so we can do a comparison. So here's from the photo that I took the other day to what I finished today. At 9 a.m. Hawaii Hillbilly hosts that one. Oh yeah, Hawaii Hillbilly. You see the one that drew the gnomes? No, that's not quite accurate. This is more like how I saw it. You can tell I moved around a little. Just a little. But there is what I saw versus what I drew. You can tell I moved around a little. Because the perspective on the top versus the perspective on the bottom. I have to get better at not moving around. Elizabeth, I was just wondering about you. You and Claudia, I haven't seen you guys in ages. Hi, Elizabeth. But we are here in time, because I do want to show you this. Go to my face camera, make sure my face camera is pointing the right way. Look, 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 look. Yesterday was Father's Day here in the United States. And yesterday, during the stream, I wore an older, from 2022, Artist Dad shirt. But today, I've got my Daddy Fish shirt on. It's a brand new shirt that they made for me. It's got fish, the handprints on the back have been made into little fishes, and it's got glow-in-the-dark bubbles. It's really a nice shirt, and it fits, and it's soft, and so I decided to wear it underneath my work clothes today. So that I just wanted you guys to see my lovely shirt. They've been making t-shirts for me for Father's Day for 20 years now? At least 18 years, maybe 20 years. My oldest and youngest daughter started the tradition when my youngest daughter was very small. And so it's been at least 18 years. Stand up, please. Oh, well, then I'll be off camera. But at least 18 years. So I've got at least 18 of these shirts, and my fantasy is that I will have them turned into a quilt. And when my kids no longer come around, I will have all my daddy shirts in a quilt to wrap around me and keep me nice and warm. Anyway, so I wanted to make sure and leave time today to show you my Father's Day shirt. The fish are on the back. They picked on the. I'm not going to get completely undressed. The fish are on the back. They put their handprints. They put their handprints on it and drew little gills and faces on it. So I've got the youngest son and the youngest daughter. And yeah, you have to start sending me dollars for me to start actually tripping on camera. We do that on our Only Fish channel. All right, guys. Tomorrow, girl 2 has already pulled out the toy for tomorrow. So let's see what that is. It's in this blue egg right jar, and it is. What is that? It is megafauna. It is a megafauna skull. What kind of megafauna? Oh yeah. It's a Daedon, which is like it looks like a big pig, and it is vicious because it is a big meat-eating pig. So the Daedon is what we'll be drawing tomorrow. We'll be talking more about those. See the little cheekbones there? We'll be talking more about that tomorrow. So guys, have a great day ahead of you. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining me. You know I look forward to this every day. I jump out of bed, I run downstairs so I can art with my art buddies. Be sure and tune in tomorrow when we do the day down. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance till somebody says they see me dancing, because that is how we know that the lag has caught up to the stream and we're not going to get cut off in mid-sentence. We want to make sure